Hello to all of you. As you know, we have a class now online. So Elke and I will talk about consciousness primarily today, and then your assignment will be to watch this video and we'll write about the assignment, how many words you have to write and what you have to say.
Yeah, we are really excited to talk about consciousness because consciousness is a very important feature for a human being. If we think about consciousness among animals, Tavi, what do you think? We both have pets, so we understand a little bit about the consciousness in our animals. So compared to human consciousness, what kind of differences do we see in that?
Yeah, so you all remember probably we discussed last time about animals a little bit towards the end of the class and so on. So for me, I was thinking a bit more about this a little bit, and one of the things that seems to have with consciousness is the fact that human beings have choice in a way and animals do not have choice. And I want to try to explain a bit about that. So it seems as if cats learn behaviors. They remember certain things. They know that when my car comes in the driveway, they can go out and so on. So they have certain behaviors that they have learned, and it feels as if they make decisions whenever they do something like that. But I think in the case of animals, what happens is that they receive data from the environment. So they learn how I move, they learn how my wife moves, what kind of thing she does, what kind of thing I do, and so on. And this data results in their mechanism into some sort of output, in the sense in which they cannot make a choice to do this or that. And that's why we don't punish them, so to say. We don't say that they are guilty whenever they do certain things that we do not like. While human beings are always they always have the power to make choices. Or let me put it in different words. Suppose at a certain moment a cat does something. I can say with certitude that the cat could not have done otherwise. While for me at this moment, if I move this pen right now, I know with certainty at the same time that I could have done something else because I have the power to choose. While for the cat, as long as I knew all the input that came into it, I would also know the output. For human beings, even if I knew all the input that came into me, there is something within me that has the power to change that, or in other words, to act out of nothing, ex nihilo.
Okay.
That's how I say it. I don't know how you.
Yeah, no, this is very interesting. I want to look a little bit at this human decision making. They also call it volition. Volere means to want.
Correct.
And it's a Latin word. So for humans, when they make a decision, they, in most or many cases, they analyze the situation consciously, and then they weigh certain aspects. Maybe one aspect in the whole situation is very weighty, very important, so that will influence the decision. At another time, maybe the same decision is in front of that human being, but the weighing of the factors might have shifted and they might come up with a whole different decision at the end. So usually we are making decisions consciously. Correct. By analyzing factors. Now there are times where we make decisions by a so-called gut feeling. That means in these cases we have a lot of factors, maybe too many factors for us to rationally dissect the situation. But if we make gut decisions, we should usually only make them when we are very familiar with a certain topic or area we make these decisions about.
Correct.
In this sense, we are not dissecting everything. It's a kind of nearly subconscious decision.
Right. But I think it makes sense at the same time. In the case of human beings, it can make to ask them, why did you do this? There is a possible explanation they can offer. And for animals, even if we spoke the language of animals, I think it would make no sense to ask an animal why they have done something like that, because the question itself would be incomprehensible, again, even in the conditions in which we'll be able to speak the language of animals.
Yeah, I understand.
So I don't think that the language is language is not the same thing with self-awareness as we use the term for human beings.
Right. I don't think an animal ever sits back and reflects like 5 minutes later. Why did I make this decision? That was really dumb.
Why did I poop on the carpet today?
Yeah. So they will not. This whole reflection part is missing, I would say, at least from observing animals, and then a self-correction activity that we usually as human beings have. When we made a very inappropriate decision and then later we regret this and say, gosh, why did I do this? Hopefully the next time we will be able to respond or make a different decision after this reflection. Now it's very interesting when you consider your own decision making. At least I catch myself sometimes that emotions impact my decision making.
For sure, yeah.
And there are things going into this decision making that are sometimes not even I'm not consciously aware. Let's say I decide to yell at somebody, which is not a good decision most of the time. And then later I am analyzing this and I'm thinking, why did I do this? What factors drove me to this? And then I can understand, wow, this had a story already. That person annoyed me already during the day, and now this was the last straw on the camel's back, and now I started yelling, even though I not consciously analyzed that beforehand.
Correct, yeah.
So as we have some subconscious things going on when we make choices, but at least we can self-reflect over that, and that's something that I don't think an animal would be able to do.
Correct. And I think that actually brings up the point that you were mentioning before between dualism and reductionism, so to say. Because in the case of dualism, you actually just express the fact that you can analyze yourself. And in that case, someone must do the analysis. Who is the thing that analyzes how your body, emotions, and so on have reacted to whatever has happened in the past? And that thing probably is, I would say, consciousness and so on. By the way, we were talking before about the definition, and you were talking about the definition of consciousness. So if you want to tell them, and then we can talk about dualism and reductionism a bit more.
Yeah, so consciousness has to do with being aware of your surroundings, but also being aware what is happening inside of you, your own thoughts, being aware of your body, how you feel. Mindfulness is part of consciousness, analyzing responses, then also remembering and reliving memory. I mean, when you look at old pictures of a vacation, you're basically reliving this experience. It's not like, oh yeah, that's a picture and nothing else happens inside of you. So all this belongs to that term of consciousness.
But I would say at the same time that memory, in a certain peculiar sense, that it's connected to human beings, because for example dogs have memory too in a way, but different kind of memory. So a dog will be happy when the dog sees his owner after 5 years or something like that. So that means he remembers his owner, or whatever it's called, the pet guy, whatever this guy is called. But I think it's a different kind of memory, in the sense that I do not know whether the dog sits down and contemplates, oh, I remember how I was playing with Johnny, and thinks about this, but rather is again a reaction.
And it is a reaction.
A reaction to another human being that brings within him emotions and whatever else.
Exactly, like remembering something good. Oh, this person gives me treats, and I get food from this person and shelter. So connecting that person with good experiences, and on the other side, especially a dog, like my dog can remember bad experiences.
Yeah, I know.
At a neighbor, they had a live wire in their yard, and she actually touched it with her nose, and she got basically an electrical shock through it. She would not go next to this property. I mean, this happened now like 7-8 years ago. To this very day, she avoids this property.
But I would say that she wouldn't be able to explain to you, even if she talked the same thing that you talk, why she doesn't go there.
Yeah, I don't know if she would remember that experience. Maybe she would, but
remember the experience, but not being aware of it. She wouldn't be able to explain that, oh, because I have done this, I'm no longer doing this. It's just the normal reaction of no longer going there because of
avoiding.
So I would say we use the word memory for animals and for human beings, but actually we mean different things. Because human beings remember their past in different ways than animals remember their past, and that is primarily because of the lack of consciousness, I would say, in the case of animals. Which doesn't make them just robots, as I mentioned last time, by the way. But there is certain they have emotions, they have all of those things, not awareness of all, I would say, of all.
Right. They do not relive details or stories.
Yeah. And after all, even an artificial intelligence nowadays, they learned. It doesn't. So if I talk to however you call it, Siri or whatever, all those things are from Apple or from the Amazon, I don't remember, Alexa, right?
Alexa,
so they learn my behavior. That doesn't mean they are aware of my behavior.
Exactly.
But they react in the future according to my behavior. So they will give me advertisement according to whatever behavior I have had. But it doesn't mean they are aware that Tavi has all those behaviors, so let me give him this advertisement. It's just an output. And I would say in animals it's the same kind of thing, except that they have emotions while Alexa doesn't.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yes. No, that is a very good comparison actually between a real human and artificial intelligence, which is not living, is not alive. It is a program. It's a computer program which collects data and basically gives feedback on the basis of these data, but there is no relationship involved between artificial intelligence and a human being.
Artificial intelligence may learn things about me faster than my wife does, but it doesn't mean that it's more, doesn't mean they have consciousness.
Actually, when we talk about consciousness, when I studied the topic, there were actually like 2 levels of consciousness, or they said consciousness equals awareness. And so we have at least 2 different levels of this awareness or consciousness. The first one is a low level awareness. For example, right now we are sitting in this room and maybe I'm aware of you and I'm aware of the recording camera, I'm aware of where we're sitting and of our notes. But if I'm just quiet for a minute, I can hear a background noise.
I just heard it.
Just now, yes?
Because you mentioned it, yes.
Yeah, so we are very able as human beings to filter out, we can focus our awareness on certain things and we can blend out other things that are not essential to what we're doing right now. So in this sense, we have low level of awareness. Also what was done, for example, maybe you're not this person, but most people are scared of snakes, or at least they don't have a comfortable...
Mouse for me.
Mouse for you? snake for me, definitely. So what they did in an experiment, they put electrodes that could measure temperature on the skin on individuals in a test, and they showed a movie or something, but into that movie they flashed images of snakes or of, for you, a mouse, right? But at a frequency and a shortness that consciously you would not be aware. Actually, these things are regulated by law, so people cannot just do it. Yeah, but it was in a research setting, so they flashed images of snakes, and every time when this image showed up, even though consciously the people would not say, oh yeah, I saw an image of a snake, they would not be able to tell you this because it was too short, but their skin reacted.
I see.
The temperature would go up.
Interesting.
So this is basically low-level awareness, low-level consciousness. Basically, it's flying under our radar. And so we get influence from different things we are not even aware of, which we are not analyzing consciously, but which do impact us.
Wow.
And then on the other side, there is our high-level awareness, where we really put our focus on, where we analyze, where we rationalize all these things. That would be high-level awareness. And it's said that when we use high-level awareness, we protect ourselves from bias, while low-level awareness can sway us. So people have actually, or there was this idea to use it to for advertisement, to flash short-term images
so they can make them buy it.
So that people would go buy it. Now this is not allowed, it is regulated that you cannot do that because it's really manipulation. Yeah.
But advertisement is manipulation in many.
You are right.
You go to the movie and they open the Pepsi or whatever, and they may drink now because I just know.
Yeah, right. So guys, get your popcorn and your Coke while watching this video. Anyway, but this high level of awareness would, since it's more analytical and dissecting our thoughts and is self-reflecting, is more protective against bias. And so it is hypothesized by neuroscience that our brain or our consciousness kind of goes back and forth between high and low level, because we cannot constantly operate on high level since it uses a lot of energy. So anything else that you have?
I think we said that we would talk a bit about dualism or reductionism, but I think I will just let's maybe just summarize, because I know there are 18 minutes already. And,
okay, sure.
So we talked about consciousness. We gave a definition. We mentioned a lot about the fact that it's a lot to do with awareness, with the fact that you are conscious of yourself and of your surrounding, and that it's connected with decision. That only conscious people can make decisions, right? That is also connected with the idea that human beings have some sort of dualism. That is, there is someone who is aware of himself, because it's hard to say. If I'm talking about how my body reacts, how my emotions are, how my emotions influence my thinking, and so on, the one who is aware of those things cannot be the one who has the emotions at the same time. So, so in that case, we can imply some sort of dualism and so on. And I also see the idea of free choice, which I think is probably the paramount thing for consciousness. And maybe if you want to end with anything else.
To just maybe finish up with free choice. You are absolutely right. This is the privilege of a human being. At the same time, it really requires a lot of consciousness because of
high awareness too, probably.
High awareness because of influencing factors we are often not even very aware of consciously what influence our choices. Yeah. But
which does
again,
not deny the possibility of having free choice.
Right.
Yeah.
And also we are to a certain extent in control how much we allow circumstances or biases
To determine.
influence our free choice.
Correct.
So we have a much, we are operate in that regard on a completely different level than an animal, for example.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tavi, and thank you for watching, and I hope you could profit from this video.
And we look forward to reading your comments.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.